unpaid, tell me if I'm wrong, I think that these warrants were presented to the county government, and the county said, we're not paying that. So the lawyer has not gotten paid by the sheriff's office. So we're in a position where the lawyers fronted all this, and the sheriff's office tried to pay it out of their budget and wasn't allowed to pay it out of their budget. And so the county, either the county is paying this through general funds as part of this settlement, or the sheriff's office is paying this through their budget in some manner, or we're getting sued again for attorney's fees. And it won't be just the sheriff's office, it'll be the sheriff's office and the county commission both getting sued for attorney's fees. So just keep in mind, this thing is, you know, it's something in here for everybody on this one. But what I would recommend is let me look at this, and I don't have a good answer for you. I mean, ultimately, if the county has to pay it, what I guess what I would recommend is that some portion of it is probably gonna have to come out of the sheriff's budget, and then some portion is probably gonna have to come out of wherever the county can find the money. I would even be willing, because I believe potentially my office has some culpability in this, I would be willing to put a certain portion of my budget into it. From a little bit from this year, and then I could probably pull some from next year's budget to go into it. But I'm certainly not the majority. But if the event of trying to have the whole team share in some of this pain and get this through to resolution, I'd be willing to offer that up. But only if others offer it up too. If this is if there isn't that going on, that shared pain, then I'm not going to be the only one sharing the pain.
Corey, I submitted the final bill on the 24th of December before I left.
24th, but I haven't seen it, sorry.
I kept a copy. I'll
Okay.
run and make another copy.
Okay, thanks.
So, just so you have it.
So, I don't know if you want to comment on that or instruct me on that, or just what we want to do there.
Well, it looks like a lot of it's got to hinge on, do you visit with the other attorney and the union? Even though we decide on whatever, it's still going to hinge on those two, right?
Yes, for the approval, that's correct. For the attorney's fees, it's really between the commission and the sheriff's office. I don't know how you want to handle that.
For me,
Question
the
there.
issue is the precedent that it sets to have any elected official come forward, hire their own attorney, and then give the bill to the county, be it from their department, general fund, pill, it doesn't matter, it's still the county taxpayer paying for a privately hired attorney. I understand there may be some pain to share here, and I appreciate what you said on that, but my request would be, please fight this to the extent that you can, because the commission never gave permission for the hiring of an outside attorney, and the county attorney never came forward and said, I can't handle this, it's a conflict, whatever, please hire outside counsel. Based on that, I feel we have to fight this so that we don't set a precedent that opens the door to, you know, sustaining the entire legal business by Broadwater County taxpayers.
Is there a question from you?
Didn't you guys vote on that the 22nd? There was 2-1 that said that they wanted, you were gonna pay it?
Yeah,
That's correct.
we talked about that a little bit ago, yeah.
That's correct. So, and that's,
So what are we doing? Going back on our word?
so and that's a fair point. The agreement on the 22nd was, in principle, subject to drafting, this is what we're gonna do. In drafting, I found a lot of issues that need to either be clarified or I sought direction from you. This is one where my own opinion is that I'm trying to provide you some better advice, some different advice at least. Maybe it's not better, but it's a little different. And if you want to then reconsider that decision, then there could be consequences from that. That's a fair point. I will point out that under the law, you may pay your attorney fees out of all the funds that are available to you as a county. I put that in there because that could be out of the next year's budgeting process. You could do a bond, you could do a levy, you could take it out of the general fund. In that note, if you wanted to, never mind, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Corey here has been put in quite a spot because he's just been brought on this all of a sudden, and there's such a backlog on all these things that he's got his hands full completely.
In terms of the issue of the precedent, I guess I'll leave it at this. Okay, so this, I haven't seen this one yet. This is 12/24 and 2014, so Christmas Eve. Total is $16,735.
We haven't seen that yet.
Um,
When was it sent?
In terms of the precedent that Commissioner Obert is speaking about, I drafted paragraphs 14 and 15 in order to, what I think, deal with this problem. I can tell you that this county attorney, at least for the next 4 years, if some department goes out and hires an attorney and hasn't come through me first and hasn't approached the commission, then I'll fight that one all the way to the top of the hill. And so I recommend this paragraph 14. It says, the parties agree to seek the legal advice of the county attorney for all future legal advice or representation in the first instance, meaning come to me first. The party shall not seek or retain outside legal counsel unless one of the following occurs. Either first, the commission contracts for outside legal counsel, which you can do. 2, the commission approves the sheriff's office contracting for outside counsel at an agreed upon fee rate and limit. So it's not open-ended, you say, we're willing to spend $20,000 on something, for example. Or, the third option is there's actually 2 things that have to occur. This is the option of the commission's breaking the law and won't listen, and the attorney's breaking the law and won't listen, and the sheriff needs to go somewhere. So the sheriff can do the following. The sheriff office obtains a legal opinion from the legal counsel of the Montana Association of Counties that the commission persists in a purposeful legal error, and the sheriff's office should seek counsel to correct the error. That's for the commission, but you'd have to do a second thing. The second thing is, the sheriff office obtains a legal opinion from the Montana Attorney General that the county attorney persists in a purposeful legal error, and the sheriff office should seek counsel to correct the error. So by law, the Attorney General has supervisory control over me. I don't have to, even though I listen to him, I don't have to answer to Mako. So the Attorney General is the only one by law that can come in and say, you're really screwed up. What that would be is the fail-safe in the event that we're just a bunch of lawbreakers here. But without that one, the commission should be approving and in advance any legal counsel. So then, paragraph 15. The commission agrees that if the circumstances of the previous paragraph occur, the commission shall pay the reasonable legal fees and costs of representation for the sheriff's office. The commission shall not pay the legal fees of outside counsel in any other instance for a county officer, employee, agent, representative, department, or subdivision. I tried to find all the synonyms, right? Unless pursuant to an order by a court of competent jurisdiction. The commission further agrees to pass a resolution to this effect to adopt the same policy for all Broadwater County officers, employees, agents, representatives, departments, or subdivisions. So what I recommend is this binds us to work together, and then the commission adopt a resolution so that it affects everybody in the county government. So the sheriff isn't treated unequally from all of the departments. How's that?
I like that.
Right, yeah, that's what the problem then. These problems arise from.
But what it puts the responsibility on me, I have to be responsive. If I'm not communicating well with all my clients here, and I'm not helping them, then they may in fact be doing something wrong because they haven't gotten my help. So I fully recognize that puts me in a position where I have to help them, and I'm committed to doing that. You bet. I missed paragraph 13. Paragraph 13 says, the parties agree this agreement does not affect any other ongoing, pending, future, or past claims, whether known or unknown, between the parties, so long as such claims are unrelated to the subject matter of this lawsuit. So, there may be other problems out there that are lingering that we don't know about yet, and we don't want to,
They're not tied in with it.
Yeah, they're not tied in with it. Okay, we're almost done, we're getting there. Paragraph 16. The parties agree this agreement is contingent upon the approval of Teamsters Union Local Number 2 representing Broadwater County Sheriff's deputies. Two things. Number one, I don't know that it's mandatory, but it's certainly a good idea. So I think we should leave it in there. Secondly, this agreement, or this approval that we have right here, as I mentioned earlier, needs some work. So I think we're gonna need new ones. Number 17. The parties agree this agreement is binding and final upon both entities, both their officers, employees, and representatives, whether past, present, or future. The parties hereby waive, now why did I have this one in there? I think it's,
Kind of back to the one you had here a little bit ago.
yeah. And I'm just being redundant, because I'm a lawyer. The parties waive and disclaim any claims, whether known or unknown, arising from the subject of this agreement. So this one's possibly redundant. Potentially take that out. 18. The parties agree this settlement agreement, together with the attached exhibits, constitutes the entire agreement between them for the purpose of settling and resolving the matters implicated in the above captioned case. Any other representations, promises, commitments, or agreements, whether written or oral, not contained within this agreement are void and without legal effect. There's no side deals here. Everything is what's going to be together, signed, and open to the public, and that's it. So, number 19.
As it should be.
Yes. Number 19. The parties agree to file this executed agreement with the Montana First Judicial District Court, Broadwater County, and seek an order from the court approving the agreement. The parties acknowledge that such actions make this agreement enforceable by a contempt of court as well as civil remedy. This paragraph is not necessary. Ordinarily, you would do this with somebody that you're worried that they're gonna break the agreement in 10 days or whatever, and then you can execute it. You can actually do a settlement and then ask the court to dismiss the case and execute the settlement in the same order. What that would do then is if they violated it, you don't just go back and refight, you can actually do a motion for contempt of court. I recommend we don't have it in there. I wanted to include it just for discussion to say, these are the kinds of things that you can do to protect yourself triply. In this one case, I recommend we get rid of it, but I thought it was worth discussing, so.
I'm happy. Yeah, take it out?
Yeah.
I agree. I think we're starting a new day, a new relationship based on trust. Let's start here.
Okay. So that, the last page, we'd have signatures, and it would need to be the commissioners, the sheriff, probably myself, and a representative from the union. Which we wouldn't necessarily, because if you look at Exhibit 2, that would be the union approval letter. So now we wouldn't have the union sign it. Just the commissioners and the sheriff. And then, so exhibits would be the new salary schedule, would be Exhibit 1. So it's clear, and it would be, it could be a cleaned up version of this, or a cleaned up, or a modified version of what Mr. Seastead had. Number 2 would be the new union agreement for approval. Number 3 would be the commission resolution regarding outside council representation, so that you can, this wouldn't have to be in the agreement, but I would recommend that after the agreement that it be done for all others. So actually, I'll take that one out. Then would be the sheriff's office motion to dismiss. And we do need the legal representation letter from the sheriff's office and their outside counsel. By law, we have to have that for this agreement. And, you know, we're entitled to it anyway because it's a public entity. It's always good to have. And then the legal fees and costs, I reckon we may need to actually, yeah, so legal fees and costs that whatever is ultimately paid, we should add that exhibit as well. I don't have a sense of what the total cost of this adjustment is gonna be. It might make sense to do that calculation and include that as an additional exhibit too.
Makes sense.
We can get that from Debbie as well as number 1, salary schedule.
And then, that would be about it. One thing I skipped over the first 2 pages of the agreement, and I won't read them all here, but I just want to point out what I did here. These recitals in an agreement saying whereas this, those aren't necessary for a settlement. I put them in because I thought it was helpful to recite. What I did was I was relying on all these provisions of law, and I realized, well, if I'm relying on them, it's probably beneficial just to have them in there for everybody to see them. And the commission directs the civil lawsuits, so you're in charge, you're the client, you're in charge of the suit, I'm not. I'm just carrying it out. You have the authority to settle claims under law. You have the duty to indemnify county officers that are related to their official duties. I'm the legal advisor for the county. You have the authority to contract for outside counsel. The sheriff is responsible for fixing the wages of the deputies. This whereas, it says, I'll read this one. Whereas the collective bargaining agreement between Teamsters Union Local Number 2 on behalf of the Broadwater County Sheriff's deputies in Broadwater County for July 1, 2008 through June 30th, 2012. So that's 2 CBAs ago, and then the last one. And the CBA for July 1, 2013 through June 30th, 2015 contain a compensation schedule for the deputies outside the percentages contained within law, and was signed by the leaders of both parties to this litigation. So there's, we're all in this together in the blame game. I think it's important to include that, to recognize how we all got here. So, full-time county elected officials, with the exception of the county attorney, must be paid a base salary as recommended by a county compensation board. The commission is required to approve the budget under the Local Government Budget Act. The commission adopted a resolution on October 6th, which the sheriff's office appealed to district court. The sheriff's office retained outside counsel. The parties agreed in principle on December 22nd to resolve the matter. And in reliance upon that agreement, this is important, this one. In reliance upon the agreement in principle, the sheriff's office filed a motion in the district court to vacate the hearing scheduled for January 16th. So that's one thing in terms of making this thing happen. Your vote on the 22nd moved us into the not fighting but resolving stage of this, and they filed a motion just to halt or to dismiss a hearing on the 16th. So in that vein, I want to make sure that we're still moving in progress towards settlement. I've had some recommendations here that I think are some of them are right on, some of them are a little controversial, and so don't take all my recommendations, but this is the story of how we got to this point.
Very good. You did a lot of work already.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Well, if we get this done, it's not as hard as the work that would have been there. So with I guess from what we've heard today, or in terms of the guidance, I will revise this on the things that we need to fix. I will, I'll contact and then I'll provide the revisions to Ms. Merson. And then, should I contact the union representative? Is that what's been happening, or is that something that
I would
the
think
commission
it's
is
best if
doing
you
that?
did.
It's been a combination of the two, so if you'd like to, that's great. If you want to unload yourself of some work, we can certainly do that.
Well, at a minimum.
Then you were in direct contact.
At a minimum, I'm gonna have to talk to them about why I have concerns about this approval letter, so, I'm happy to do
Makes
it.
sense that you would be the one.
Okay. Okay, well, and then, at this point, I think I have all the guidance I need from you to get this finished up. should we assume we're going for next Wednesday?
Yeah,
Do you wanna, does that give you enough time
I
then?
think so.
and then the only question would be, how do you want it to read on the agenda? And if there is any delay, we have to have the agenda for the next week done by Friday, because of that holiday.
I think we should hold ourselves to the final resolution and, actually signing the settlement agreement, and try to do that Wednesday, the next Wednesday. So it would be what is the date, the
21st?
21st, yeah.
Do we need anything on the agenda about reconsidering our past vote, or would this supersede that or trump it?
It sounds like the two things that would be modified would be and again, I have to talk to the sheriff's office on the outside accountant to calculate the wages, because they were the ones that wanted that, so they may not agree to that. So we might be back in the discussion on that one, but, unfreezing the budget for the wage increase for the boxes 4 and 5 employees, that would probably need to be noticed, unless you wanna do that at a later meeting. I'd recommend you could do it as the next action item after we do the settlement.
And that would be noticed, have to be noticed because it was tied in?
Because it was frozen, right?
Right, so do we need to notice that since it's managerial? As part of the budget? I mean, obviously, well, it doesn't even have to be an amendment because it's already in the budget.
Because it's an implementation, it's an action to implement and really implement the pay raise that's been halted right now, I think it would make sense
Okay,
to just do an actual vote.
okay.
And you could probably do it as the next item after this is settled.
That would make sense.
Mhm.
If you want to reconsider the independent audit, I think what would make sense to do is a resolution adopting the final settlement. And include in that possible edits to the agreement in principle on the 22nd. Specifically the 10-year audit. The 10-year audit and possibly the outside accountant seem to be the only two that you're saying proceed with. And if the attorney's fees ones, if you want to keep it as is, then that wouldn't be necessarily something we want to change.
Can we
I
add
guess
it?
The other question I'd have is, are you gonna get this information from the union and from the sheriff's office in time? Is Wednesday putting it too soon? Next
No.
Wednesday? Okay.
We need to, my feet are to the fire, and they need to keep their feet on the fire, get it done.
Okay.
So Corey, with the three things, or the two things that you had suggested that we readdress under the resolution to adopt the final settlement, one being outside accountant and then the other 10 years investigation. And then you said attorney's fees unless you want to keep it the same. If we want to revisit that, we could put it on, we should put it on as one of those things that we would potentially revisit, right?
I would recommend that. Honestly, I don't know that all the sub-items that may change in the agreement have to be included in the notes.
Okay,
Because we may find paragraph, no, I think you can include all three. Those are the only big ones that I know of right now,
okay.
so.
And if more come up, we can always post those additions with the 48 hours. It's not really changing anything other than adding more information.
I think that's
Okay,
and so, and the sheriff's office may have some requested adjustments. So you may include as a fourth item of any sheriff office recommendation to the agreement or something like that. And I don't know what those are at this point, but they may have something, so.
should that be posted or should that be
That's
included as a
actually part
general?
part of this, wouldn't it? So I mean, it shouldn't be separate on the agenda.
No, I would include those as kind of items for possible amendment. And I would even include, you know, possible minor amendments as the fifth thing, because, you know, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we all get together and we find some minor issue that we all got wrong or we overlooked that we need to include. So that's probably more particular of a notice than is needed.
Okay.
So. But anyway, gives me an idea of what I need to do, and I will move forward.
Thank you. A lot
Thank
of
you.
work.
You gonna be in there, I'll bring in this, let you write down the agenda, how you want it to.
All right.
Thank you very much, Corey.
You're welcome. Get her done.
Baptism by fire, huh?
It's been good. I haven't got too singed yet.
We're glad.
Any comments from the public out there?
I'll
I
actually
don't
say.
I don't understand a lot of this as far as it goes, but how can he represent you and the sheriff's office or any other deal in here when there's two parties going at it? One person, are you able to do both parties?
Well, I'm not representing the sheriff's office. They have their own lawyer, because they sued the county, so I represent the county.
Yeah.
And it's, so I don't represent both sides.
This last paragraph that you wanted in there states that they gotta go through you and them,
In the,
but how do you represent them both at that time?
Well, ideally, the way it's supposed to work is they're entities from the county aren't supposed to be suing the county commission. I mean, we're supposed to be working together.
Yeah.
And the fact that we reached the point where they were suing is just indication of a different problem altogether. But in terms of the legal advisor for the county, the county attorney is doing that. And so that's what I'm supposed to do, and that's what this new policy would be intended to, is that you gotta seek legal advice through the county attorney to do those things. There's times when counties need an outside lawyer for whatever reason, and so the commission authorizes that, but they're the ones who would have to authorize it by statute. And so if somebody comes in and they have an issue that either I can't help with, or it's a point where we need additional resources, then they can authorize that outside counsel. The point of this is, if a department wants to sue the county, and they haven't gone through this process, and they get their own lawyer, the county is not obligated to pay for it.
No, I understand that, thank you.
But the county government is supposed to be considered a unified voice in terms of our legal position and procedure. And, I just came from the state and the Attorney General's office, and we were a unified position from the state. And there is occasionally a weird situation where two entities from the state are at odds. And I've actually seen cases where two different entities from the state are filing something in court disagreeing with each other. And that's a symptom of a problem that you can't allow to continue, because then the judge is looking at it going, well, we've got people here that just aren't getting along, they're not singing from the same sheet of music. So the goal is to move in the direction where if I'm a legal advisor and the commission and the sheriff's office are disagreeing about something, I'm not gonna come in and represent one or both against the other. What I'm gonna do is come in and provide, here's my best legal advice of how this issue should be dealt with, not your point of view, my point of view, here's what I think the law says, and deal with it that way rather than letting it get to the point where we're suing each other in court. We're gonna have some rough rapids at some point down the road, I think.
thanks again, Corey.
I didn't know if I would say if there was any more questions or comments, though, if anyone else had any more.
Go ahead.
Alan,
Yeah, I guess by what I saw here, you know, one of the best places to start is communicating if there's issues. And that's one of the things I believe within the county, we've suffered communication gaps or lack of totally. And so, it appears as 2015, communications looks better from sitting on this end of the pew here. And so, that's what I saw today, heard today. I think it's a good start. Like you say, there could be issues that need to be ironed out. That's the issue. And so, you know, I give thumbs up for what I saw and heard today. So, that's my comment.
Anything else for anyone? For you?
May I bring something forward to you, please?
Yes.
I'm Virginia Nerd. This is hard for you guys. It's what makes the motions that I turn in my resignation to you guys as county agent. It's just some things that I'm gonna go on and try some other things and just try some different things.
When
So,
is this effective?
February 1st.
Oh, Virginia, you break my heart, but you have to do what you have to do, and I absolutely support you on that, but
So, you know, for your copy, for your records.
you have served Broadwater County extremely well. In fact, I met a friend of yours today, the Department of Agriculture Deputy, Joel, and he was singing your praises, and so was I, so you've done fabulous for us over the
This
years.
is to Debbie, I guess.
Yeah, it goes to Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So how long you been here?
been here 21 years,
I knew you came in 90 when I was cooking code.
93. So, and I've been in extension for 26 years, so
Are you gonna get out of extension? Are you?
totally rolling out and doing something different.
Are you gonna stay living here?
You know, I'll be moving to Great Falls.
Oh, my gosh.
So,
Oh,
a lot of big changes.
yeah,
Oh,
well, truly, best of luck to
Well,
you.
good luck to you, right?
Thank you.
good luck to you and Kenny.
He'll be around for a while, so.
Really?
Yeah, till we figure out what we're doing, where we're living. But
Can we
anyway,
ask what you're gonna do or not yet?
Actually, I'll be working as a crop consultant, so it'd be strictly agriculture, where I'm working in the field all the time and working with the producers. It's kind of where, I guess that's my first level where I want to be, is in the field and doing stuff with crops and things like that, so.
Great Falls is the lucky one in this.
Mhm.
So are those producers. They're getting really a very talented, very smart person coming in there.
I have to tell you, after you were interviewed here, and I don't remember the gentleman's name from MSU, but I said, a lady, well, that's good, we'll probably get some of our home extension clubs going again. He said, she's not Susie Homemaker, you know. But you're sure sawing the other way.
Oh, thank you, I appreciate that, so. So I tried to wanted to get in this morning, but I knew you guys didn't have time, so I wanted to get in today and get it to you before you guys heard it somewhere else, so.
Good luck.
Thank you so much for your time and all your support.
No, thank you.
Okay, see you guys.
Talk to you later.
Okay.
Good luck.
Can I just come to you
If
now?
there's anything else, we adjourn.
All right, you're looking at your emails for Wednesday's time and place. Yeah.
So what's her official title? County agent? County extension agent.